Let me please introduce you our presenters for today, the European Cup Commission member, Mr. Ivan Iro, and Mr. Harald Rota. Thank you very much for your attendance. I wish you all the best in the new season and enjoy the seminar. Mr. Iro, you have stage, please.
Thank you very much. Rocco introduced us, so let me to introduce Mr. Rocco Sikiric from the CV office, new person responsible for the European Cups. So, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here for the first part of the today's session, and I try to provide you with some information relating to the technical organization of the Champions League matches. So this first part will be the technical organization. After the coffee break, you will have a second part with Harald, and he try to provide you with some information and he will show you something from the CV database, from the practical part of the work. So let's go for the technical organization. What we have to say, what is important regarding the organization. First thing, we have to plan everything in advance, because good planning and preparation of the event is minimizing all unexpected surprises which will happen during the real event. When we start to organize the event, we have the side of the organizers and we have the side of the CV. The person who will help you directly on the side, who will manage you, who will assist you, and who will control you is a CV supervisor. This is a person nominated for the match by the European Cups Commission. This person, or the work of this person is starting not one day before the match. Work of this person is starting just after the nomination. Shortly after the seminar, or shortly after the drawing of lots for the fourth round, and now for the round 1 to 3, shortly after the seminar, the supervisors already will receive their nomination and will start the task to contact the clubs and to help to the club cooperate and support the organizers. One thing is important for the supervisor. He has to think ahead, because if the event is running, he has to expect what can happen. So in our side, you can see some small items. His work starts immediately after the nomination. He has to think ahead and cooperate, help, and support the organizers. What is necessary to done from the side of the supervisor in advance? He has to coordinate as soon as possible the travel schedule with the organizer. Why as soon as possible? Because this is a way how you can save a lot of money. As you know, flight tickets arranged 3 months before the match is much more cheaper than the flight tickets arranged 2 weeks before the match. He has to plan together with the organizer to arrange the meetings about we will speak later on. This is shortly the main task of the supervisor in the beginning of the whole organization. Let's go further. What about the clubs? Clubs has to start and work start and work just after the team sent the inscription and the inscription is accepted. Then you know that you are the member or a part of the Champions League, the best club competition of the world. For the smooth running of the event, you have to be prepared. For a smooth running, you need to know some regulations. First, you are receiving the official communication. There are some important information, some regulations. Complete regulations you can find in this document, which is a CV volleyball competition regulation, and this document says what you are obliged to do. Then you have the second document, organizational guidelines. This document tells you how to do the things which are laid down in this document. So now slowly you know that you are a member, you are the part of the Champions League. For the organization, you have to divide the whole organization in different parts. First is the technical parts. We will discuss about this part later on. Second part is a marketing part. For this side, you will find the complete assistance on the CV office in our marketing department. The third one is a promotion. You know you have to promote the match. Again, specialist of the CV in the CV office will help you with this find. If you need some advices, some help, do not hesitate to contact the CV office. Communication. Here again, CV office department headed by Federico Ferraro will help you for 100% more, maybe more. And last but not least, what you have to think over is entertainment during the matches, during and after, before the matches. But we will speak now a little bit about more about the technical organization. When you are start to work, first of all, you have to create the organization committee. There are some positions which are very, very important, and you are obliged to nominate experienced persons for this part. Which are the most important? First of all, OC director. Let's say the OC director is a person who is a right hand of the supervisor. This OC director is in a permanent contact with a supervisor. Organization director must have a knowledge about all parts of the organization. He is the responsible for the whole organization, and he is managing his organizing committee. Of course, whole organization committee has to start with the work as soon as possible. Under his responsibility, there are few important persons. Technical responsible. This person is responsible for all technical parts on the court, all technical parts on in the sport hall. Then you have to nominate the media and communication responsible persons. They are responsible for the respective part. Then you have the marketing and TV responsible. Very, very important. This person has to take care about all marketing items, about all TV items. Next one, which is really important, is a security manager. This person must have a very good knowledge about the security during the matches, what's going on on the tribune, around the sport hall. He has to be in a close cooperation with the local police, and he's reporting to the supervisor everything what's going on. Under the responsibility of this person, there is also one person about whom I have to mention. This is a person who is responsible for the match technology. You know, today we are using for the matches e-score sheet and data volley statistician, and this person must have a knowledge about these two systems and must be able to work with the systems, and if something is happen, he has to act as much as possible. What about the organizing club? Club has some important duties. First of all, when the club would like to take part in some competition, he has to have the team. Then he has to start with the organization of the whole event. He starts to create the organization committee. When you like to organize something, you have to check the technical equipment, what you will need for the matches. Next, you can have equipment, but of course you must have the available facilities, sport hall and hotels, where the teams and officials will be accommodated. Next one is a preparation, the transportation. You have to arrange the transportation, local and international. Local for the teams and the officials, international for the CEV officials. And last but not least, what is necessary to underline is a work with a CEV database. Here we have a different forms which are helping us, or working with these forms we are working during the whole season. Harald in the afternoon or in the second session, Harald will show you these forms and how they are working in the CEV database, what's going on. But if I make the small summary, Form 01 is a registration form which is filled by the National Federation in the cooperation with a respective club. 02 is a form where you have to announce the organizational chart. Then is a form number 04, which is the collective license. Then is a 407, which is a match organization form, where you are announcing the starting time of the matches, information about the hotels. Form 08, which is called general information. On this form, you are making some information regarding the arrival times, regarding the training schedule. Then is a Form 09. This is a registration of the team delegation in a match. Here is necessary to underline that the Form 09 is only informative. So the players inserted in this form are informative. If in the next form, which is 09 bis, final team nomination, you'll have another players, that's okay, yeah. Form 10 is the form relating to the preliminary inquiry. Supervisors and the team managers are filling this form during each preliminary inquiry. Next form is form number 12, which is a match result report. This is a form of the supervisors, and this form is generating by the e-score sheet. And last but not least is a form CLS. This is a form relating to the advertising. This form must be filled in the CEV database, and in this form there is an approval of the request and approval of the advertising around the court on the backdrop. This form is used by the supervisor and by the teams as well. So we start with the preparation of the team. What is necessary here? Underline. Big clubs are using a lot of foreign players. As you know, according to the FIVB rules, if you like to use some foreign player, you have to arrange for them the wallet transfer. During the process, don't forget for the transfers. You can already start it. Process is very easy. Is working through the FIVB database. Second item, what we have to underline are the licenses. In a CV competition, there is we have some regulations which you can find in the competition regulations, CV competition regulation, versus that the players taking part in the competition must have the CV license. The players has the CV license if if this player is approved on the 04 form. You have to insert the players on this 04 form with a requested data and also with a picture. It's necessary to underline that if some data is missing, the license of this player will be not approved by the CEV. In the official communication, you can find the deadlines when you have to close and when you have to fill and close the respective form. For the Champions League, it is valid that until the set deadline, you must ask for at least 10 licenses. During the matches, then you will need. There is a limitation for the licenses, and you will need at least 12. So it means in the set deadline, don't forget to request 10 licenses, and then after this deadline, until the deadlines for each specific match, you can add some other players. Important for the CV Champions League. You can have, or you must have, at least 12 licenses in total, because for the match you are obliged to travel with at least 12 players. But be careful, we have a limitation also from the second side. Maximum licenses which you can have on the 04 forms is 18. We have some innovation in the regulations, and it's necessary to underline that each player can have only one license per season. But the player can be removed from one club to the second club under the condition that in the previous club he never played the match. This is the first condition, first item, and then we have one special case. No later than the start of the quarterfinal of the Champions League, when there is an emergency medical or exceptional reason which is approved by CEV, can be this one license removed from one club to the second one. But be careful, only one during the season. These are small underlines relating to the licenses. Next item, what is necessary to arrange is you will know the dates of the matches. You will know the places where you will play the matches. Everything this opponents you will know on 2nd of November, and after then you can start to plan your trips. Again, early arrangement of the flight tickets can save you a lot of money. When you are traveling, here is necessary to take into the considerations some countries. In some countries, you need the entry visa. Don't forget, really don't forget to ask for the invitation letter and for the visa in the respective embassy in time. Could happen that you request very late, and in such case, could happen that you not receive the visa. Nobody can help you in this moment. Generally, we have some regulations, some advices. For the visa invitation letter, you have to ask minimum 30 days before the match. Yeah, opponent club, opponent national federation. You have to send a request there, and within 24 hours they have to send the invitation letter. Second case is if you are still not qualified for the next round, so you don't know where you will play. In such case, within 24 hours after the qualification to the next competition round, you have again to send the request for the visa purposes, and during the next 24 hours, the requested national federation and club has to send you the visa invitation. Concerning the referees and the supervisors, could happen that they will need as well visa. As soon as such referee and supervisor know about the fact that he need a visa and he need an invitation letter, he's obliged immediately contact the respective club or respective national federation to request the invitation letter. Again, next item, what is here important? We have our forms in the CV database. I repeat again, in the second part of the session, you will see how it is necessary to work with these forms. Some of these forms are filled by the clubs, but some of them are then approved by the CV office. Some of them are approved by the CV supervisor. Technical equipment. What is necessary to underline in the part relating to the technical equipment? First of all, flooring. When you are checking the possibility, don't forget that for the Champions League matches we need official flooring, which is Gerfloor or Mondo. Exact brand mark you can find in the material. This is not necessary here to underline, but without this flooring we cannot play. Next is a match technical equipment. Again, if you open the respective book, it is exactly written what you need. Only some items I will underline later on. New technology is the next and very important thing which we are using. In these new technologies we have the e-score sheet. This is compulsory for all rounds of the Champions League. Tablets, again, they are compulsory for all rounds of the Champions League. Referee headset, again, this part is compulsory for all rounds of the Champions League from the beginning until the end. Challenge system. Challenge system is compulsory from the 4th round. In the rounds 1, 2, and 3, the challenge system is not compulsory. You can use it after the CV approval. If you like to use it, it's necessary to ask the CV for approval, and for sure will be approved. We have we have now 3 companies which are fulfilling all CV requirements. They are Data Project from Italy, TDS International from Poland, and Hawkeye Innovation from Great Britain. These 3 companies are fulfilling all the requirements. And the last one is again the LED screen, which is again compulsory from the 4th round. LED screen, very important part. You can make a wonderful entertainment for the spectators, and is used also as a result of the challenges. Next facilities what we are using. You have to check, of course, if the sport hall is available. For the Champions League, there are some strong requirements for the sports hall. For the round 1 to 3 are a little bit lower. For these 3 rounds, is necessary to have available the sport hall, which is in category 3. For the round 4, beginning from round 4, for the men's competition, you need the sport hall fulfilling the requirements in the category 2. For the women, you can have still the sport hall fulfilling the requirements in category 3. The biggest difference here is the height of the sport hall. Category 3 says that the height of the sport hall is 9 meters. Category 2 says that the height is 10 meters and the capacity is 3,000 spectators, while the category 3 only 2,000. When you will check the sport hall, it's important to check some items if some items are working in the sport hall. So it means if the hall is available in general, then what is the temperature in the sport hall? To be not very high, to be not very low. If there is enough power connection in the sport hall. If there is internet connection in the sport hall. Don't forget, please, that you will need some Wi-Fi connection and you will need also some wired connection. If there is a sound system in the sport hall, and if there is some team camera platform where the teams can put their video camera. Next facility what you have to check is a hotel. First, you have to check the hotel for the officials. It means for the supervisor and for both referees. This hotel is arranged by the organizer. Then the hotel for the teams. You have to propose 3 hotels for the visiting team. You are proposing this hotel on a respective forms, and the visiting team has to choose one of them. After then, the organizer has to make the reservation in the hotel, and from this moment everything else is in the hand of the visiting team, which is arranging his food, which is arranging his payment and everything themselves. My friends, could happen that both teams agree and make and arrange their accommodation in the way of reciprocity. Generally, this is not forbidden, but some referees know these words. It is necessary to tell that in case that something is happening, it's useless to go to the supervisor and request him, "Dear Mr. Supervisor, please help us. When the visiting team play in our city, we arrange for them this, and now we are playing there. This is not arranged." There is only one word from the supervisor: "My friends, I'm sorry. regulation says that very clearly that accommodation is arranged by the respective team, by the respective visiting team, and if you make the agreement based on the reciprocity and something is not worked, we cannot help you. Sorry. So. When you have arranging the hotels, today it is practically normal, but don't forget that the internet connection must be available free of charge. So once again, hotels for the visiting teams and hotels for the CV officials. Now, a few words about the transportation. First of all, transportation of the CV officials and the international referees. I'm speaking about the CV officials because we have, except of the CV supervisor in the playoff, we have another CV officials and so on and so on. So instead of the word CV supervisor, CV referee delegate, other CV officials, international referees, we are using the words CV officials. Don't forget, please, that we have the rules relating to the flight companies. These rules are necessary or important to underline. You can use only the flight companies which are allowed or which have at least 2 classes of seating. Flight company must be able to propose you the connecting flights. Flight company, in case of delay or cancellation of the flight, must be able to propose you the another flights and reserve the tickets in this new flight. And finally, when the flight company propose you the price, this price must be a global, including the usual luggage. So, if we say it in shortly, it's not possible to use the low-cost companies. Yeah. So when you are arranging the trip for the supervisors, for the referees, you are not allowed to use the low-cost companies. Also important for supervisors, when you get the proposal from the organizing club and there is proposed the low cost, you have to refuse such proposal because then you are take the big risk. Next, what is important to say in such case is that sometimes it's much more effective for the supervisor and for the referee to travel by car. Could happen that the distance is short and it's much more easier to come somewhere by car. But be careful for this. There are some regulation. If a referee or any CV official like to use the car, this must be after the approval of the CEV. CEV takes care about this, and CEV has a regulation. It's approving such trips until the distance of, I think, 300 kilometers. Around 400 kilometers. Every time you have to send this request to the CEV, then you receive the special form, which must be signed by the respective official, by the organizer, and forwarded to a CEV. Before such trip must be agreed also the price for a trip reimbursement. Usually it's laid down in the regulation that the cost shall not exceed the cheapest fare for the train ticket or for the flight tickets. It depends. Yeah. Then what you are organizing the trip of the officials. Important to say here one thing. Supervisors, referees has some rules. It's important that the supervisor must be at least at 3 o'clock on the competition site. I have to underline the word competition site. If you are playing or your city is located 200-300 kilometers from the international airport, from the closest airport, and the landing time of the plane, scheduled landing time is 10 to 3, for sure this flight schedule is not according to regulation. You have to, when you are organizing the trip for the referees, for the supervisors, you have to calculate also the time what you need from the airport to the competition site. So it means that the supervisor at 3 o'clock, referee at 6 o'clock, not at the airport, at the competition site. Then, of course, we have also nominated the reserve referee by the National Federation, and this reserve referee is obliged to be 2 hours before the match present in the sport hall. Local transportation is to be or must be arranged by the organizer. For the officials and for the referees, should be the car. For the team, must be present the bus with a team guide. When you are organizing the local transportation, sometimes it's happening that within 1 hour is landing 2-3 persons, referee, supervisors. If it is within 1 hour, do not hesitate to collect all of these persons and take them together. Of course, it's not acceptable if somebody has to wait 3-4 hours in the airport, but 1 hour is regular, and if you agree 1 hour, 1.5 hours, that's normal, yeah? Again, don't forget, invitation for visa purposes when the referee and the official request. Don't forget to send them with you within 24 hours. Then, concerning the visa, you know you have to reimburse the real cost for the visa. It means the real costs are the costs what the respective person had to pay to the respective embassy. So it not means the transportation from his city to the city where the embassy is located and some dinner there or I don't know what. This is really only the costs what he had to pay to the respective embassy. My friends, this is shortly what you have to done, what you have to prepare before starting the real event. I'm not speaking about the marketing, about the press, about the TV. For this we have another specialist. But this what was shortly summarized has to be done from the moment you are made the inscription until the real beginning of the competition. Real competition starts, or real hard work, final work start one day before the competition, when is the arrival day of the CV supervisor, both referees and the visiting team. So, what going on the day before the competition? CV supervisor is arriving. Both referees are arriving because you are very clever clubs and you arrange the flight tickets as it is necessary. in this connection, I have to underline one thing, that if you are not able to arrange the flight tickets on the way, that the supervisor is on the competition site one day before the match at 3 o'clock, referees at 6 o'clock at the latest, then you have to provide them with a flight travel ticket for one day earlier. So they will be there one day more. After the arrival of the supervisor, we have some important items. Each supervisor, in connection with OC director, must have organized as soon as possible general organization meeting. After the meeting, the initial inspection visit has to take place in the sport hall. After then, in the evening, this inspection visit is followed by the preliminary inquiries of both teams. And now, some words about each part of this procedure. General OC meeting should be organized immediately after or as soon as possible after the arrival of the supervisor. During this meeting, we will discuss the items, all items relating to the organization of the match, because our main goal is to prepare the events for the spectators. So what we have to discuss? First of all, general organization. Some questions, some advices from the side of the organizers. We have to discuss the technical organization, the technical part. Marketing items. So the supervisor will discuss with the OC director and with the marketing responsible all questions relating to the marketing. It means the publicity, promotion of the match. Press items, press operations before, during, after the match. Media items. Of course, important is discuss and to have a knowledge about the security items. So the supervisor must be informed how is organized the security in the sport hall, what will happen if something is happen, what are the steps. And of course, all items or other items and questions from the side of the organizers and from the side of the supervisor, what can be or can interfere in the match. After this general organizational meeting, start the first inspection visit. What is necessary to inspect? During the inspection visit, we have to check practically everything. It means the technical part, press part, marketing part. In the sport hall, we're starting with the equipment. It's useless now to explain you point by point what technical equipment you need. You can find the list here. But what is necessary to underline? For the CEV Champions League matches, we are using the special balls. Mikasa MVA 2000 CEV. It is in a green color. These are only balls for the Champions League, and you cannot use these balls for any other competitions. They are the special balls only for the Champions League. Because we changed a little bit the protocol and some items on the match, maybe from the previous participation you were used some items which are now we are not using more. So it means for today we are not using long mops because we are not mopping the court. Today we are not using the substitution pedals because we have an e-score sheet with a tablet system. And you know, from this season, you can use the numbers on the shirts from 1 to 99. And electronic buzzer lights, we are no more needed because, again, we are using our system of the e-score sheet with the tablet systems. But what is necessary to have, and this is not generally in some checklists, we need the reserve libero vest. In case the players which are designated as a libero are injured, then the coach has the right to designate the reserve libero, and this player must be marked somehow. Then take care that the bench must have the electricity. We are using the new technology. Teams are using the computer, so they have to have a possibility to connect their computer. And last but not least, team bench rubbish bin. My friends, don't forget for this last thing, you know, all our matches are in TV. And really it not looks nice if in the TV view you can see empty bottles somewhere on the floor and such items. Yeah, so take care also about the thing how is looking our lovely sport. Okay, this is concerning the equipment, and we are continuing with an inspection visit of the hall. Directly in the hall, we have to check. We are obliged to check supervisor in cooperation with the technical responsible and the OC director is necessary to check some important items. It means court layout, new technologies, sport hall as general, all the rooms, marketing and TV items, and press items. If you are speaking about the court layout, don't forget, my friends, second season we have a new court layout. Warm-up area are located here behind the benches. But be careful. Such court layout is not possible to install in each competition hall. First of all, you have to have into the consideration the spectators. In some sport halls, the spectators are sitting directly somewhere here. So if you locate the warm-up area here, spectators see nothing. In such case, where this layout is not possible to install, then the warm-up area will move here 3 times 3 as it was before. So during the first initial inspection visit, the supervisor and the organizers has to agree where will be located the warm-up area. Both layouts are acceptable. So when we check the sport hall, it means the dimensions, layout where is located everything, dimensions of the court, all areas which are there. We will continue to check the next items in the sport hall. So we will start with the rooms which are necessary to have in the sport hall. Of course, you must have 2 dressing rooms for the teams, one for the home team, second one for the visiting team. You are obliged to have the dressing rooms for the international referees. And here it's important. You need 1 or 2. Why 2? If you have there are nominated 2 referees, 1 male and 2nd female for the match, then you will need 2 dressing rooms for the international referees. Next room what you need is a dressing room for the linesmen. Next room is a medical room. Next one is a anti-doping room. As you know, the anti-doping room must have the special layout with a waiting part and with a toilet. Waiting part equipped with some soft drinks. During the check of the room, the dressing room for the visiting team must be equipped with a massage table. Generally, when you are checking, it's not necessary to take care about the dressing room of the home team. Of course, the home team is at home, and they have prepared for themselves comfortable place. But you have to take care about the visiting team. The dressing room of the visiting team, except of the shower and toilets, must be equipped also with a massage table. And what is important, the possibilities for the VIP. It means the VIP stands on the tribune and the VIP rooms. Again, don't forget for the places for the journalists. They have to be there. They are promoting our lovely sport, and we have to take care about them. Next, what you have to check in the sport hall are marketing and TV items. You have to check the advertising in the sport hall. All approved advertising must be inserted and approved by CEV on the respective CLS form. In the Harald presentation, you will see afterwards where you can find this form. Backdrop. Again, you already got the layout of the backdrop. All advertisements on the backdrop must be approved. So it means the advertisements published on the backdrop are again listed on the CLS form. Marketing court layout. Again, you will. This is a special court layout showing which advertising panel has to be located in which position. This is in case you are using the static panels. If you are using the LED panels, there was a special deadline set by CEV in which you have to, or you was obliged to send a request to the CEV that you are using the LED panels. In a CEV FTP server, afterwards, supervisors can find the approved rotation order. It's also the duty of the supervisor to check this rotation order and take care of this. Floor stickers. Again, you have, you know that on the floor you have the places where you can stick the floor stickers. If you strictly follow the regulations, floor stickers had to be fixed during the presence of the CEV supervisor. Now, without remarks, without recording, when I'm somewhere, I never stand and waiting while the nervous organizer fix the stickers. Each organizer know and has a layout and know how to where the stickers should be fixed. Of course, then we have to check if they are in the correct place. But I never standing under or nearby the supervisor and waiting. Please stick it now, here and here. Then what we have to check are the TV installations. Usually the TV is coming if the match is in the afternoon, during the lunchtime, before the match. It's also already necessary to check the installations. You have to check where are the cables from coming from the net camera and net microphone. My friends, take care about this. They could be very dangerous and should be retaped on the floor. And of course, you have to check also. Supervisor has to check also the TV camera positions. Press items. In this part, you have to check all all necessary press operations before, during the match, and after the match. You know that the organizing club is obliged to send a pre-match report, upload some pictures during the match, after the match, and send out some press materials after the match. In this connection, it's important to know the photographer, official photographer. Be careful for supervisor. Official photographer is only one photographer who can enter the control area. No other photographers, only this one person. And in this connection, or in this part, is belong also the data volley statistician. You have to agree with him the cooperation and upload the statistic after each set and after the end of the match. So you passed through the inspection first, or initial inspection visit. For this inspection visit, I have to mention also that you have to have in your hand the ID card of the sport hall, which is inside of the database. If you find some discrepancies between the real situation and the data in the database, each supervisor is obliged to mention this fact in the special part. In the special part, Harald will show it afterwards. So, my friends, we checked everything, and we start to be close to the match. Both teams are present and starting the preliminary inquiry. Preliminary inquiry is a meeting where you have to check the documents of both teams. Who are obliged to be present on the preliminary inquiry? First of all, of course, CV supervisor. Secondly, OC director, as a representative of the organizer. Next, team manager of the respective team. And I have to mention another persons, international referees. Their participation is not obligatory, but there is a special instruction from the CV refereeing commission, and according this request, letter, or there is a request to the international referees to take part during the preliminary inquiries. As you know, we have no more technical meetings, so this is a preliminary inquiry is the only one possibility when officially can be the referees introduced to the both teams. So what's going on during the preliminary inquiry? During the preliminary inquiry, you have to check some documents of the teams, and you have to make some decisions. First of all, should be checked the team documents. Which team documents? Team must have prepared in the CV database closed 09 bis form. 09 bis form is a final nomination of the team for the match. Once again, this form must be closed before the preliminary inquiry, not during, before. So if you open, or supervisors are opening their database and the form is not closed, the team is still not ready for the preliminary inquiry. In such case, the supervisor has to ask the team manager first to close the form, and only after then you can continue or you can start with a preliminary inquiry. Which documents has to be present? The team has to present passports of the players, must present the ID cards, which should be prepared by each team themselves, and these ID cards are valid for the whole season. Layout of the ID cards you can find on the FTP server. Then the teams are obliged to present the medical forms, M3, of each player. Team are obliged to present anti-doping certificates of all players, of all persons which are allowed to sit on the bench, plus of the team manager. Then the teams must present uniforms, but about this we will speak later on. When you are closing the 09 bis form, you know that the team can nominate the special number of the players for the match. Requested number of the teams, number of the players on the team roster is minimum 12, maximum 14. And in this connection, is necessary to underline the number of the libero players. If the team presented 13 or 14 players, it's obliged to have 2 libero players. If the team presenting 12 players, team can have up to 2 liberos. It means can play without libero, can have 1 libero or 2 liberos. In case the team is arriving only with 11 or less players, 11 or less players could happen, then of course for each missing player the team will be penalized. But if the team is arriving with 11 or less players, can use maximum 1 libero. The liberos are designated during the preliminary inquiry. Nevertheless, coach are obliged or allowed to change the players playing the libero position until 1 hour before the match, until 60 minutes. 60 minutes before the match is a deadline, and from this moment, changes are not allowed. Team uniforms should be decided as well. When you are filling the forms, you are already inserted the colors of the uniforms. Finally, when you are filling the 09 bis form, you can find that there is already the CV decision, and with the designated colors of the uniforms for the respective match, and you are obliged to respect this. So it means that the team before traveling knows in which color will play the respective match. There should be underlined that if the visiting team is not respecting and bring the decision and bring opposite color, and it is the same like color used by the organizer, that unfortunately only team who can change the uniform has the home team. but this fact must be mentioned by the supervisor in the report of the match, and the consequences will be in the hand of the CEV. Next item, what is necessary to be checked and decided is the persons sitting on the bench. Who can sit on the bench? On the bench can sit any staff except of the team manager and the press media officer, under the condition that present all necessary documents. It means the persons which want to sit on the bench must have their anti-doping certificate. What does it mean? It means that if the team statistician or coach decided that the team statistician will sit on the bench and he is able to present his anti-doping certificate, he is allowed to sit on the bench. Only two persons are protected with any special other documents. It is a team doctor and a physio. If the team doctor and physio would like to sit on the bench, except of the anti-doping certificates, they have to present the special certificate approval from the International Olympic Committee, FIVB, or CEV. We have three kinds of accreditations. How many persons can sit on the bench? Maximum 5. And again, these persons are designated during the preliminary inquiry. However, head coach still has until 60 minutes before the match possibility to change these persons on the bench. Then you have to discuss any other items which are important for the match. If there are some special requests from the teams, you will discuss it during the preliminary inquiry. This is a right and correct time. After the preliminary inquiry, it's necessary to print the final team composition of the both teams and provide the both teams with these forms. Both teams are allowed to know the final composition of the teams. Okay, this is the end of the day one. Take a dinner, sleep well, have a sweet dream. We are here, competition day, day 2. What will going on during this competition day? Supervisor, together with the referees, will make the final inspection of the hall. It's necessary to check if technologies are working, if everything is on the right, correct place, if we can start the match. If everything is checked and prepared for the match, take a lunch, prepare yourself, match is here. When you arrive to the sport hall, don't forget the supervisor must be in the sport hall more than 1 hour, because 60 minutes before the match there are some deadlines. Possible change of the liberos, possible change of the staff of the benches, so you have to plan your arrival to the sport hall in time. Before the match, you have to check everything again. You have to check shortly everything, and then you have to check the both teams, the players, by using their ID cards. Next moment, whistle of the first referee. If everything is running well, from this moment, supervisor can enjoy the match. During the match, the duty of the supervisor is very clear. He's watching for the smooth running of the matches, of the event, and if everything around the court is working as it is requested, and he overlook the performance of the score sheet. My friends, please concentrate for these items. Some of the supervisors are not very experienced, and believe me, if the scorer makes the mistake, sometimes this mistake bring a really hot moments for everybody. So, match is running. Slowly, we have to see the nice match, and the match is finished. Organizer has again a few duties. Organizer has the duties from the side of the press. Organizer has to make some quotes, prepare some press releases, and distribute. What is the duty of the supervisor? First of all, he has to collect the score sheets. Which score sheets? First, this is a signed score sheet which is printed before the match. Secondly, score sheet signed after the match. So these two score sheets. It's necessary to arrange the copies of this score sheet, before, which is signed after the match, of the final score sheet, because you have to provide both teams with a copy of the score sheet. Next one is a statistic report. You will receive this form from the official statistician. Next is a match result report. This is a form which is filled by the supervisor during the match, and supervisor receive this form from the e-score sheet. E-scorer has to print first one before the match, because you have to work with this form during the match and fill it, and secondly final form after the match. Next task of the supervisor is to fill the report inside the CV database. As you will see later on, there are two parts of the reports. One part is a technical part, second part is a marketing report. Both sides are inside of the database. When you fill and finished all the reports, it's again very useful to make the short session with the OC director and inform him about the both reports. First of all, the OC director and the club has the right to know how successful they will with the organization of the match. And secondly, you can propose him there some improvements for the next match. After then, the supervisor has to collect all these forms, give it into the hand of the organizer, who is obliged to send the forms by registered mail on the first working day after the match to the CV office. Match is over. After the match, some small session, dinner, and next day everybody leaves home. In this moment, the work is still not finished. On one side, the club is preparing himself for the next match, and still there are some duties. Press team has to upload the match to the sharing system, Supervisor finalized his report, but the next day he has to check if the match is successfully uploaded inside the database. You can see this again in your report, and Harald will show you where. So this is a short summary relating to the technical organization of the match, of the CEV event. Question from your side. If you have some question, do not hesitate. Together with my colleagues, we try to give you some answers if there are. Thank you. What's the time?
We have one question.
Hello, my name is Zoran Ješić. I'm from Banja Luka, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and this should be the first season for me on the Champions League. I was a supervisor on the CEV Challenge Cup and CEV Cup 3 seasons before. I have a few questions. On the preliminary inquiry, you mentioned ID cards. Are that accreditation cards for every match different, or some CEV license, or?
If you check the documents, there are each team is obliged to produce the ID cards for his team, and with these ID cards are traveling for each match of the Champions League. So each team is producing his ID card, and for example, Graz is producing the ID cards themselves and traveling with these cards for the home and away matches as well. Exact layout of the ID cards is the team can download from the CEV FTP server.
Okay, thank you. So besides that, ID cards, they should have accreditation cards or no? Because on the documents in...
during the preliminary inquiry, you are checking the passports as ID cards produced by the team,
yes,
and other documents. For the match, you don't need the passport.
Yeah.
And you will check the identity of the players with the ID cards produced by the team.
So they don't need accreditation cards. ID cards are okay.
These ID cards are accreditation cards.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And when you talked about the situation when a statistician can be on the bench if he has FIVB anti-doping certificate.
Yes.
As I understood, he must be inside that 5 people on the bench.
Yes, of course. Yes, of
like
course.
Assistant coach.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so no 6th person.
No. 5 inside. Inside of these 5 person can be also the team statistician.
Yes. And one situation, I had situation, for example, on semi-final last year in Challenge Cup about the large video screens.
Mm-hmm.
So semi-finals are final phase. So organizer also had to use large video screens, and there was some doubts about that. So the organizing director asked me what we will put on the large video screens, you know. And to be honest, I didn't know precise answer. So in that case, if we ask them to use large video screens, are there some instructions they must follow, or they can decide what they will put on the
there is no
video
instruction what they have to put on the video screen except of the result of the challenge. And these large video screens are used for the entertainment of the spectators.
Okay, thank you very much.
And sorry, if the club has a really clever and good production company which assists them with this video screen, they're really able to make the wonderful entertainment for the spectators. And a really very good atmosphere in the sport hall.
Yeah, and could that large video screens be used for the marketing also, or?
Of course. For the marketing, you have special rules.
Mm-hmm.
which says that until 5 meters above the floor you cannot have any other second row of the advertising. But of course, if this large video screen is above 5 meters, then of course you can use for the publicity, but only the publicity which are approved on the CLS form.
Yes. Okay. And I think one more question. I just didn't have a time to put the note. Where can we find that rotation order for the LED display?
Rotation order, approved rotation order, you can download from the CV FTP server.
FTP server, okay.
Harald will show you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much for your answers.
You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Maria. I represent Zenit St. Petersburg Volleyball Club. We are going to take part in the Champions League for the first time this year. So we've got a couple of questions from our colleagues, yes, who had their time, reading the documents and had a lot of questions. So one of the questions is from our doctor concerning the M3 and M7 forms. Should they be presented before each match or before the tournament once?
We are speaking only about the M3 form. M3 form should be presented during each preliminary inquiry, but should be confirmed only once before the first match.
So how do we send it to some email?
No. You are not sending. The team manager is presenting this M3 forms during the preliminary inquiry.
Okay. The second question is concerning the license for physiotherapist and doctor. Our doctor previously took part in the CEV Cups, and our physiotherapist is going to take part for the first time. So if he has a license from the National Federation, it is not valid, right?
Of course, from the National Federation is not valid. You must have they must have the license from three kind of license, as I told you, from the International Olympic Committee, or from FIVB, or from CEV. And must be valid. In each of this license, there is a date until which this form is valid.
And in any case, we should translate the diploma of this physiotherapist and to provide it to you, for you to.
Not to me. You have to provide with the requested document the secretary of the CEV Medical Commission, which is this is the one way. Second way, you can upload the requested documents to the FIVB system, and then you will get the FIVB accreditation.
Okay, thank you. And then, do we understand correctly that the e-score sheets and the information on the match should be sent to the CEV by the CEV supervisor, not by us?
After the match?
Yes.
Supervisor will give all the documents into the hand of the organizing director, and club is responsible to send by registered mail on the first competition day after the match all the documents to the CEV office.
Okay, thank you. And I think the last question concerning the advertising panels or stickers, anything that has a CEV badge on it. Do we produce it by ourselves, or do you give it to us and we put it somewhere?
Now we are on in the marketing part. Rocco, do you have some information how it will work this season? The CV advertising panels, will the teams receive it, or they have to produce themselves, the CV advertising panels?
I can explain it in this way. It's changed season from season. And normally you will receive soon next official communications with the information. The last season it was like this, that you produced it and you get, I think, 100 euros per banner through the National Federation.
Before it was each team received it from the special company together with a official playing net.
Okay. Yes, I think that's
So for sure, for security reasons, this question should belongs to the CV office because they have exact information, or marketing department of the CV office has the exact information how it will work this season.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Agnieszka Hench, and I'm from Budowlane Club from Poland. And on behalf of my club, I would like to apply for possibility of playing with 10 players, not 12.
Unfortunately,
No?
not possible.
Okay, thank
So
you.
answer is very quick.
Maybe next year.
No.
Thank you.
For Champions League, not. Minimum is 12.
Okay.
Excuse me, please, one more question, because this is a great chance.
Of course.
Yes. In the CV competition regulation, there is a part about the change of player after the selection procedure. So maximum of 2 players can be changed after the selection procedure. So
I have to underline that this remains in the old regulation when we had a preliminary inquiry and a technical meeting. It could happen that we had a preliminary inquiry, after then was some training sessions and a technical meeting, and in this period, in case of injury, it was possible to change some players. Now, when we have no technical meeting with a preliminary inquiry, it is finished. Final nomination and finito. I have to underline in this connection, you can now find as I showed you, the volleyball regulation and organization guidelines on the CV website. Be careful. According to information from the CV, after the 14th of September, will be released the new edition, new updated edition of the both documents.
So maybe this part will be changed. Okay. It was a little bit confusing, but and because of that I am asking. Thank you.
Okay, if there is
one more.
Ritvars Auksnes from Latvia. So this question arises just from previous question. If there are 12 players nominated in preliminary inquiry, and something happens, bad food or injury or so, and players are not appearing on game, just 10 or 11. Are there any sanctions from that?
No, in such case, no, because the team is presenting the 12 players, and this happened in the period when he was not able to do anything. It was finished. This happened between the preliminary inquiry and the match. Of course, all this fact you have to. Supervisor has to mention this fact inside the report. What's happened that the team was prepared, 12 players was presented during the preliminary inquiry, and during the injury was not able to play. This is a different situation than the situation when the team is arriving only with 10, 11 players.
Any medical approval or any document?
No, this is you are the highest authority on the site, and if they present you that the player was injured, you have to mention this inside the report.
If there is an injury or a sickness for one player, should we remove the player from the roster before
Of course,
1 hour? Yes,
of course,
before
of course.
1 hour we need to remove this player.
Of course.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, my friends, thank you very much for your attention. If you have any other question, Harald, me, and there are also my other colleagues from the we are ready. We are ready here, and you can ask me. You can ask me, Harald, anybody else. We are open here to help you. In the end of my presentation, I have to say only one thing. My friends, enjoy the best club competition of the world, CEV Volleyball Champions League. Thank you for your attention.
We will have 30 minutes break.